What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing another review, doing Superman number 42, and this is part of the Bizarroverse storyline. This is part 1. And this book is confusing. Not because it's bad or anything. It's because the whole first half is focused on the Bizarros, and Bizarro speak is confusing. I literally had to read the whole first half and then go back and decipher exactly what each word bubble meant as I went along. Which isn't bad, I get it in the context of Bizarro. It makes sense. It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to kind of he's Bizarro. He's supposed to talk funny. But when you read half a book that way, it can get a little it can grate on you a little bit. As far as story, this book really doesn't offer too much as far as story or character building. But it does give you some character insight, mainly into Boy Zorro and Superboy, and kind of their lives and how they kind of see things. So we kind of start off, and right here, knocked me off my feet. I loved this, just how Bizarro looks, and the detail and the shading, and everything looks really good. And so Bizarro's kind of going off he's in thought about how it's his son's death day, which I can only assume is birthday. And ever since he came in, he essentially says he changed our lives, and ever I feel unappreciated, for what I do for my family day in and day out. So kind of normal dad type stuff, and he kind of talks about how he's getting faster and stronger, but obviously, Bizarro means, weaker and slower, and how he just wants to be appreciated from his family. I like this, and he says, I want to be a hero. Or he says, it's not time to show the world who I'm really, who me really not a hero. And he says, I am Bizarro. And so it's kind of I get it. He's a little bit of introspective moment of where Bizarro's at in his life, and how, he kind of, it's not perfect for him. He has the same trials and tribulations as kind of the everyman. But I love this. So you get this really awesome double-page spread of Bizarro, and then you get, I am Bizarro. You get the title page, which I did like the kind of how they even did the title page in Bizarro speak. Bizarroverse, father of Boy Zorro, and then it's instead of writer you have speaker, instead of artist you have vandal, instead of a colorist you have a bleacher, instead of a letterer you have a number. It just little thing. I thought that was amusing, and again I like the way this looks. I like the way Bizarro looks, but then you get this. You literally get the title page, and then you get a double page ad for Bendis. Why is Bendis getting a double page ad in the front of the book? Let me at least get into the story. I mean, everyone knows how much I hate double page ads, and you're throwing it in my face right in the middle of the story. So then you kind of get Boy Zorro talking, and he says, thunder missed the barn, which obviously then the lightning hit it. The ice put me to sleep, so the fire woke him up. The worm farm, he's he said, not okay with me. This place is the best. I love it and no one outside of it. So essentially he's saying that his home sucks and he hates everyone that lives there. And of course then he says, especially him. So obviously he's having some dad issues, but it kind of, I liked it because it's kind of like, you know, that he's a little boy, he doesn't understand what his dad's doing. He just hates him. So then it kind of, I love this. He's just like, my dad is not Bizarro. So I just like how he's like, you know, if Bizarro equals Superman, he's like, no, my dad's not Superman. He's just kind of the everyman. And it kind of shows him, like, kind of being, you know, just lounging around. Obviously, Lois is Bizarro Lois. And she's not too happy. She's like, give it yourself, winner, because he asked for a root beer. And she's like, so obviously she said, get it yourself, loser. So Boy-Zaro and his cat run away. They're confronted by, I'm assuming that's like Hawkman and his hawk, which then he freezes with his ice vision. Burn. But then this is where kind of we get a neat little bit of story. You kind of get Superboy and his friend Kathy showing up into this like portal to show into like the Bizarro world. But when like Boy-Zaro and Superboy kind of touch, it explodes and knocks him back. Now, this is the contrast then. You know, you have a lot of trouble at home in the Bizarro family, you know. A little bit of domestic, I wouldn't say domestic violence, even though there's some hitting and some tree throwing. But you could tell that it's just not a healthy relationship. On the flip side, you get Superboy. He comes home and, you know, they're having like a family dinner and they're being good parents and kind of sussing out like where their son was earlier today and figuring out that like, oh, he likes a girl, this and that. And it kind of shows, again, the contrast of like what a good family relationship and a bad family relationship kind of looks like and what that can do to a kid. And I don't want to show the very last page. I just want to show this because this is really great. Earlier, Superboy says to his friend Kathy out in the wilderness that being in Metropolis, it's fun, but it's not like being out in the city or being out in the country because there's no grass and you yelled at for climbing on trees. There's he's like, I can literally hear 1,000,000,001 people eating and flushing their toilets and this and that. He's like, it takes a lot to be at peace. But then he's sitting here and he's kind of like saying a goodnight prayer, and he says, I can hear my dad's deep laughter through the wall, my mom giggling with him, parents are happy together. Kathy says that's 1,000,000 times more rare than cicadas and crickets these days. And I really like that because I think that is absolutely 100% true. I mean, like having, in a time of a 51+% divorce rate, I think it's like a happy family is so rare to see. But I think it shows, and you see him as he's kind of as he's drifting. Like he says that. And then he's like, I wouldn't have it any other way. And he kind of that gives him peace, knowing that his parents are happy and they're in the other room and they're laughing and they're not letting the world get to them. That gives him peace. And I really liked that. I liked it. This isn't a lot of story and not a lot of character building, but there's a lot of character insight into Superboy. And I'm really interested to see where this arc goes. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I like it. So subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.